and welcome back to Leonard Creek Farm. I am so excited. If you know me, you know I'm all about the garden. I wait all year for it. Guess what we got? Yay! Yay! I stopped at one of our local greenhouses and we got some peppers and tomatoes. We plan hopefully maybe to plant the peppers and the tomatoes today, along with doing our pole beans. I'm sorry the lighting is going up and down and up and down. Along with our pole beans, and we did purchase some corn as well. I think corn, we did Silver Queen and I can't remember what else. There's two different types, but I'll tell y'all when we look at them. But guys, I found my Amish paste. It has been, last year you couldn't find any seed for them. But this year I went ahead and found some Amish paste seed. I'm sorry, the lighting. Why is that doing that? Some Amish paste seed, along with we got some heirloom pineapple tomatoes, some early girls, and I think that's about it. I think I got like 38 or 39 Amish paste though, so.
Planting their white half runners first.
Those are a favorite, ain't they?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times, too, you'll see, at least in Appalachia, a lot of people plant them with their corn, don't they? And they'll plant their corn and let it get, I don't know, a couple inches up, and then they'll plant their beans. So the corn will raise up and the beans will climb the corn. And it's being planted.
If the seed's got a yellow tint to it, I usually will put 2 in the hole.
If this is your first time watching us and you don't know where we are and you can't tell by our accents, we are in Appalachia. We're in Kentucky. And what we're planting right now, like I said, is the beans. These are half runner beans, which is a pole bean. And so that's why we have a trellis for them. Typically in about every Appalachian garden, if they've got space and they're from around here, you're going to see a pole bean, some type of pole bean. A lot of times people grow heirloom beans. And so pole beans is a major part of our diet, our everyday diet, and definitely our summer diet. We eat a lot of green beans. And so what he planted right there, like I said, are half runner beans. And like I said as well, a lot of times you're going to see these growing up corn. We're not going to do it growing up corn. We're going to do it on the trellis because we have this trellis and that trellis. This trellis here, how many panels is that? 4 or 3 right here?
3 16-foot.
It's 3 16-foot panels here. And this one is 2 16-foot panels here. Super excited about these.
Pink tip half runners.
They're
Ain't that bad.
They're pink tip half runners, and we have not tried these before. Are you excited for them?
Yeah.
He's excited. Yep. So they're beautiful. Maybe I can, once we open it up and we plant them, I'll show you what the seed looks like. But they're probably, I say it about all bean seeds, but they're probably one of the prettiest as far as color goes. But I'm going to try to demonstrate to you all, since y'all don't know what a tobacco stick is, or a lot of people don't, what a tobacco stick is. I'm going to show you all kind of what it is. So essentially it's a piece of wood that has been whittled down on both ends to a point. So this end has a point, this end has a point. Now, what they would do, and I've never done it, and Andy's probably going to laugh while I'm trying to describe what they would do. They're pointed on each end because when they would gather tobacco, they would take the tobacco and stake it and fill the tobacco stick up with tobacco. And they would fill that up.
6 or 7.
And then,
About 7 stalks per stick.
He said about 7 stalks per stick. And then what they would do is hang it up in what we call a backer barn or a tobacco barn. And so it would hang like this to dry. And the tobacco leaves would hang down and dry out, and that's how you get tobacco that's in cigarettes, tobacco that's in dip, or whatever you want to call it. But that's how you get tobacco, and that was a main crop in our area. Essentially, that was the cash crop. Yeah, that was the cash crop for our region and our area. Almost everybody grew tobacco. Unfortunately, the government has made it a lot harder for the farmers, you all know. And so because of that, our cash crop in the state of Kentucky left, along with the coal, but we're not going to get into that, left. And so a lot of farmers do not grow tobacco anymore. They grow corn or soybean. But anywho, that's where the tobacco stick originates from. Essentially, the tobacco sticks in our garden are almost completely necessary. If you've noticed, and heard me talk about, if you've noticed in previous videos of this garden, we do not use tomato cages for the most part. We use tobacco sticks, and we tie the tomatoes to the tobacco sticks. So if you ever look through our garden in past videos, you're going to see a bunch of sticks sticking up, and that is tobacco sticks. Because the crop is no longer around in this area, and in its abundance, you can get tobacco sticks for free or fairly cheap. A lot of times people even make stuff out of them, like chairs and just different things. So they are something that is almost a dying art in our area, but something that's very useful, that we find very useful in our garden.
Give good air and good room.
Yep, that's what I was just turned it on. So if you notice, Andy's go stand through there and spread your arms out. So if you notice, we have added more space in between the trellises, and like he just said, that's going to give good air.
Toe beans need air. You plant them too close together and they smother.
Yep.
And they'll start dying at the bottom because they can't get no air.
Yeah.
Or if you plant them too thick.
Yep. So if you have never planted tomatoes before, tomatoes are another plant that needs a lot of air, and it's no different with pole beans. So like he said, well, he just, said exactly why we're putting space in between here. The main reason is for the plant. Also, separating them through there is going to be a lot easier for picking. If you have them too close, the vines start crossing over. And you can't get in here really. You can't see where the fruit is off the vine. And it's a lot harder. All right, so these are the pink tipped beans. He's got the bag open now, so I'll show you. Let's see. Aren't they beautiful? Just gorgeous. So pretty. These are a pole bean as well, so hence putting them on the trellis. They're a type of half runner. Beautiful though. So we've planted the pink tip beans, and now we're on to the greasy grits. A lot of times if you watch videos of people planting pole beans, greasy grits get brought up because they're wonderful. If you want a bean that has a really strong green bean taste, that actually tastes like a green bean, greasy grits are your bean. They're a real pretty white bean. These are some seed, let's see, say back from 2023, I believe, that we have. So, real pretty bean. So I know some of you all are probably going to ask about fertilize. And if you haven't watched one of our latest garden videos when we were in the garden and showing it being tilled and stuff, we added fertilize then. It's been rained on since, so it spread the fertilize out. So we won't fertilize again until it rains. That's how you know you're young right there. When you can crawl on the ground and do it, ain't it? He's showing his age, ain't he? Oh, I love garden time, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, right. He's sprightly. He probably don't feel it. Do you feel sprightly? Yeah, well, he said he did. He's sprightly because he's in the garden is what it is. It's giving him a new life, ain't it? Oh, well. He said the Lord did the garden, didn't. All right, guys, as you can see, Andy is taking his hoe there and running it down the garden. And hopefully you can see it. There is a stake here and a stake at the end. I don't know if you can see the stake, but you can probably see the line that's running through there. We use some leftover hay string. Hopefully you all can hear me over this wind. It's starting to blow a storm in, I believe. But some people do these, some people don't. Andy will not have a garden without this. I've never seen him have a garden without that. And that's what comes with perfectionism. Essentially this keeps the row straight. And so he won't plant something without the row being straight. So there is that's a carpenter for you. So if you're not married to a carpenter or you're not a carpenter yourself, you probably don't know, but that's what perfectionism looks like in the garden. So essentially he stakes it on both ends. We do a straight line and then we plant within that line, underneath that line. That way the row is straight. We're going to put the tenderettes by the panel. So that would be right here. It'll be the first row of bush beans, y'all.
Planting them a little thick, that way if some of them don't come up, they'll still fill in and we'll come through and thin them out if needed.
I want to show you all a little trick here that we do. So if you notice, we're staking these, we're doing our rows with a distance between them. I'm going to go up here and show you this hoe. So Andy's going to demonstrate here. So on the hoe, well, I thought he was going to demonstrate. On the hoe here is this blue tape. The blue tape is the distance between the tiller. The tiller here, I'll show you. I'm gonna lay down. From the head to so we're gonna line it up in the middle. And so from the head to the head of this hoe to the blue tape is the distance between the width of the tiller. So that means that we will be able to till essentially between these rows with that measurement. He's marking the rows off for the corn. And he has finished planting the 2 rows of bush beans. He's marked that one off, but I don't know what he's going to put in there right now. But we're starting to get rained on. It's thundering a little bit in the distance, and the wind's picking up, and I felt some sprinkles. So probably won't get everything in like we wanted to. We were definitely wanting to do you can see them down there, peppers and tomatoes, but if it's raining, we probably won't get them in. We didn't want to plant them in the heat of the day, so. He's getting it to the ground. Maybe the rain will hold off, mightn't it? At least just for a little bit so we can get this corn planted. Right now he's planting the Silver Queen. Yeah, it's a favorite around here. I think people, a lot of times it's what Silver Queen, what's the other one? Peaches and cream. I can never think of peaches and cream. Silver Queen's a favorite, and people just kind of settle for peaches and cream, don't they? If you can't find Silver Queen, then you get peaches and cream. All right, we're covering the corn. We're breaking a golden rule, though. Typically, you're going to want to, for every row of corn you plant, you're going to want to plant another row. But we're running out of garden, and we've got to figure out somewhere to put the cucumbers. And so we did 3 rows of corn here. It should be okay. So altogether we did an odd number of 7, but it should work. It's time. Yay. I talked about it before. The distance between your tomatoes is very important. They need that air. All right, guys, it has started. He is planting them. So at first, we've got the first 4 tomatoes, which are beefsteaks, and we're going to finish the row out with the pineapple. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of the pineapple. Did we have any more pineapple down there? I don't think we had any more pineapple, so yep. So those are the early girl. So we're going to do the first bit of the row, beefsteaks, the rest of them pineapple. And as you can tell here, I went ahead and set him up for planting. It's hard to plant in video, and so it's just a lot easier to just video him doing it and explain what's going on as we're doing it. But he's going ahead and planting these tomatoes, and I went ahead and set the plants every 4 rows here, or every four holes. That way he could just grab and go and get it done. We're kind of trying to beat the weather clock here. We're going to trim these bottom leaves, these bottom stems off, just like that, because anything that's touching the ground is going to allow that plant to get different diseases, blight, and things like that. So we're going to try to eliminate that by taking those off. And we'll continue to do that as the plant grows. Pull those bottom limbs off that are touching the ground.
We're getting everything broke up out of the dirt.
Amish paste time. We got the Eaton tomatoes. My favorite is the Roma tomatoes, the Canaan tomatoes. So now it's Amish paste time. All right, guys, we got 4 rows of tomatoes planted. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 rows of tomatoes planted, 2 full rows of Amish paste. These are eating tomatoes. These are, let's see, these are beefsteak on the end. Sorry, that moved really quick. Beefsteak on the end. Pineapple here. Then we started the row again with pineapple, and it goes up to early girls, and then early girls finish out the row. And then we have Amish paste, Amish paste. Now Andy is moving on to the peppers. I want to include this because we do this naturally, just because we've raised a garden for a long time. But if you notice, if you look at these plants, we plant them almost in a triangle. So the plants are, if you look, so for every 2 plants here, there's one kind of in the middle on the next row. That allows for airflow as well. You can see the triangle. That allows for airflow as well to get to the tomato plants. The only type of squash type things that survived, well, besides the pumpkins that I planted here recently, was 1 summer squash, and we have 2 zucchini plants that surprisingly made it. So I'm going to use this little slip here. Nobody has claimed this spot right here, and so I'm going to plant the 2 zucchini. The ones that I'm planting are Ford Hook zucchini. They look good. And I have a summer squash. Summer squash is one of my favorites. I'm going to go ahead and plant these. I'm going to plant the Ford Hook zucchini up here. I'm going to do them about 3 foot apart. They are like a bushing plant if you've never dealt with zucchini. And so they need to be a good distance apart, and then we'll plant the summer squash down from them. I do want to get one more summer squash. We'll have to see if that happens, because one produces a little bit, but 2 will produce at least enough for us to eat fresh throughout the summer. Like I said, I'm going to plant these about 3 feet apart. Time for the summer squash. Alright guys, that's the end to a very long day. We started around afternoon time, and then here we are. Let's see what time it is. Hold on. 6:30. It's 6:30 and we are finally done. This one right here is getting ready to step on my summer squash. Queenie, come on. If it makes it through her, we'll be doing good. But I've got my zucchini and my summer squash planted. Like I said, I would like to get another summer squash, but we'll just have to see if that happens. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and hopefully we can see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.